everybody. Happy Monday. For a moment there I was like, oh my god, is it even Monday? There are these moments in these days when everything is kind of like a little bit of a blur. I hope you're doing very well. As you can see, I always start my Monday videos now with the lyric video of Yes I Can, just to keep spreading that message of empowerment and really anchoring in the beautiful idea of yes I can. Like, yes I can overcome obstacles. Yes I can live the life of my dreams. Yes I can be a beacon in this world. Yes I can be a beneficial presence on this planet, as 𝐦𝐨𝐫𝐞 always says. And just to really plant the seed of possibility and of inspiration. And how, it's really for me about how is that possible, right? How is it possible to live in that mindset of possibility, especially when we look around and we think, oh my God, what's going on with the world? Where are we going as humanity? What's happening? And we see so much chaos. And yet right in there is also planted the seed of possibility, of change. And then it takes each single one of us to take a stand, to take a step forward and to surrender. And that is really what I wanted to talk about today. Hey Kevin, aloha. Oh, exactly. Don't we all need that, right? We need a little bit of a positive start into each week, I believe. Not only each week, each day actually, to really always remember this is all not somehow accidentally just happening to us, right? So there's an element of us, of our responsibility, our ability to respond to the things that are occurring in our sphere. And I'm a big fan of so many things, but I'm one of my biggest inspirations recently has been Lynn Twist, the author of The Soul of Money, but also Michael Singer, the author of The Untethered Soul, and the Surrender Experiment. And right now I'm listening to his, living the surrender experience, which has been so powerful to really, really allow that to happen. So basically, to surrender whatever is presented for us, and then choosing our ability to respond in the sense of where are we lightening our flashlight, right? Because there's always at the same time, everything is happening at the same time, right? In different time zones, so to speak, timelines. But when you think of it, there's everything happening at the same time, and then the problem is there, but the solution is already there. So how do we keep flashing our light on the problem, or are we actually, searching for the solution? Yeah. Oh, Kevin, wonderful. Yeah, no, it's a beautiful book. And what I love so much about Michael Singer is his humor. He's so humorous. One of the things he said last week when I was listening to his book, he said, we're all making such a big deal about death, right? But he said, it's actually something to look forward to. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. And I don't know, I cracked up. I remember I was like stuck in traffic listening to that. And I was like, oh my God. Imagine we would all look forward to death like we look forward to other things. And of course, we're not, that is not at all whatsoever in our brain and our mind and our ideas. It's like, if I would say that, people would probably think you're crazy, right? But just the idea of no longer letting the fear of dying consume us, right? No longer letting the fear of dying prevent us from actually really living, from following our dreams, from really stepping into our greatness, and from really loving from our heart, with our whole being, without holding anything back for the rainy days. Yeah, and surrender ourselves to that greater, I don't want to call it force, that greater essence. Yeah. And I'm going to start out today with my new favorite song that is being born in these days. surrendering to letting go of the old, welcoming the new, surrendering to something bigger, knowing that we are part of this change. We are part of this change. And we've been trying far too hard, and we've been pushing for so long. We've been trying to push this mountain back into the sea. And we've been trying far too hard to make it all happen. And we've been pushing for so long, and now we're tired. We're all tired, but we are the imaginal selves, and we are wild and free. We are part of the creation of the wings of humanity, you see. We are the imaginal selves, and we are wild and free. We are part of the creation of the wings of humanity, you see. And it takes a little moment, and it takes a little while to remember that you are divine, and that on your inside is the world that you see outside of yourself, a beautiful reflection, simply a projection of what you feel inside. You are part of the imaginal selves, and you are wild and free. You are part of the creation of the new humanity, you see. We are the imaginal selves. We are wild and free. We are part of the creation of the new wings for humanity, you see. And then we can fly, and then we can soar, and then we don't need to search for more. It can be enough, even if life gets rough. We remember who we are. Remember who we are. We are the imaginal selves. We are wild and free. We are part of the creation of a new humanity, you see. Part of the creation of a new humanity, you see. Part of a new pair of wings, a brand new pair of wings for humanity, you see. And then you'll remember that it's time to surrender and to fall into your flow. And trust into the greater. Don't postpone your life for later. It is here. It is now. You are an imaginal cell. Yes, you. And you are wild and free. You are part of the creation of a new humanity, you see. You are an imaginal cell. You are wild and free. You are part of the creation of a new humanity, you see. So spread your wings. Spread your wings and fly. Yoo-hoo! Aloha Mary Gio. My beautiful friend. Heather, oh my goodness gracious. Shauna. Everyone is here today. How beautiful. How beautiful. Oh, yes, we are the imaginal selves, and we are wild and free. And it's one of my favorite analogies, obviously, the metamorphosis of the butterfly. And the idea that once that caterpillar is in that cocoon and it's kind of like, you know, decaying at some point, eating itself in a way. And then those cells in there, they are imaginal cells and they're already imagining the new. And what we see there is the butterfly has to completely let go of the identification with the caterpillar in order to fly. And I feel like that's the same here. Like we really at some point need to let go of the identity of bigotry, greed and hate and all the isms and all of that and holding on to history. Because if we keep looking back in history, by now, people always say, you learn from the past, right? I mean, you know, when you really look back in our human history, when we keep looking back, we didn't learn from our history, right? I mean, prove me differently here, but I'm always happy to be convinced. But we didn't really learn from our history. You know, it's always the same thing, and it shows up in different faces, right? It's still hierarchies, and it's still the bigotries, and it's still like the being dominant and being like, you know, superior over somebody else, and blah 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 blah, right? So in a way, it's like we need to really let almost go of the identification with our past. You know, maybe do some forgiveness work right there. Like, oh my God, you know, because we all screwed up in our own ways, right? It's part of the whole evolution. But then now, in a way, you know, it's the involution. We're turning it inwards, and then we look for that, all of that on the inside. And then there comes a moment when it's like, whoa, okay, we're really shifting this, changing this with the willingness to surrender. And here comes, and this is one of my favorite quotes, my beautiful dear friend and the co-author and co-writer of the award-winning two-woman show, Money Talks, but what the hell is it saying? We created this show together. We've been performing it for the last 6 years before the pandemic hit. And this is the book we wrote. Believe it or not, we wrote a book. It's available on Amazon. It's called Money Talks, but what the hell is it saying? 6.5 golden rules for making friends with success, failure, and self-worth. Yeah. And one of the chapters, it's called Surrender to Chaos. And we are redefining surrender here. And Marsha Zina Major wrote a beautiful book called Believing in Fairies, a manual for grown-ups. That book actually changed my life. My mother gave me that book when I was 21. It shifted me. I started traveling because of that book. I ended up in Hawaii, where I met the author of the book 15 years after my mother had given me the book. So it's a pretty miraculous story. And Marsha wrote this in her fairy book. Surrender is lying down on a soft bed of the very thing you want to run from. Surrender is lying down on a soft bed of the very thing that you want to run from. And when we really think about that, if we could all just lay down on that bed of trust, of letting go, of even surrender, right? Because what's so beautiful for me about this is that we are constantly running. We are on the run, on the go. Coffee to go, burger to go, food to go, salad to go. Everything is to go. Is it for here or to go? It's to go. I want to run with it. Let me run with my coffee, right? But now imagine if we bring it all back a little bit here, and we no longer run from the pain that we're running from. We actually sit with that pain. We sit with the wounds of the past. We sit with the people that we haven't forgiven or that need our forgiveness. The courage to look at what went maybe down south somewhere, and then to release it and let it go. And therefore then create that space, cut the ties to the past, so that we no longer have to carry on, we have to no longer carry on these woundings to our following generations. And then we will be able to create something different and something new. And I'm just super excited about it, because I feel like something new is actually coming. And there is people who are envisioning and imagining something new already. But if we really want to make a change, it needs to be dramatically different, right? So right now I see a lot of the tendencies. I talked this morning about that in one of my clubhouse rooms with my dear friend Randy Lee. You know, we talked about that right now. We hear a lot about the feminine rising, and you know, we hear a lot about that all the wealth should now go into women's hands, and women have to take over, and it's you know, and where I believe that it would be great to have the feminine and the masculine be back in balance. Absolutely. But if we now start just shifting everything, you know, almost like take all the money and the wealth away from the man and now bring it to the women, and then we have the same, excuse my language, the same crap going on. You know, we still have hierarchies, we still have all the things, because, you know, we as women then also keep up the masculine energy, the masculine approach, right? The more pushy and forceful way that life has been. And in a way, it has nothing to do with gender. It really doesn't. It for me, it's an energy that we all carry within. I have masculine and feminine energy within. Everyone has. And it's really more about how to balance that out. So in a way, at some point, gender is totally overrated. When it really becomes that, okay, what energies am I carrying? How am I trying to make things happen, force things happen? Where am I not listening? Where am I trying to open a door that is actually locked for me, and I'm not meant to go through that door? But there's me, and I have like a hammer, and I have, you know, I have everything, and and I'm pounding against the door, and I have my magical hammer, and I have my little like thing to try to open the door. Nothing happens. And meanwhile, if I would just shift a little bit to took a different angle, the door would be wide open. The door would be wide open, a different door that I didn't see for myself. And then sometimes we don't trust. We're like, oh, if the door is open, it cannot be a good door. Right? In relationships, that's like the old drama, right? I'm actually totally in love with the guy that is already married. He's the one for me. Really? Or is he just the one for you because he's not really available and you are actually not available, right? It's almost like, and then, you know, sometimes we have someone who adores us, who loves us, who is like, wow, it's a little too much for me. I can't handle that, right? So we stick with the one that are not calling us back. Yeah. He's the love of my life. I just wish he would call me back, you know? And again, I always love that so much because I've done it all. I've done it all. I love the ones already taken. I cried my eyes out. I was waiting for phone calls. I allowed others to treat me like, I don't even want to say the word. And then slowly things started shifting, right? Started shifting. Can we surrender to a more peaceful way? Can we surrender to a peaceful way? Can we remember? Can we remember? Listen to the song of your soul. Listen to the words unspoken. Listen to the light that comes in when your heart is broken open. And listen to the gentle wind of change, and trust that this is all here to rearrange your life for the better. to be found. Aloha, salute, my beautiful friend. And now you surrender to sovereignty of your soul. You surrender to your life and trust that everything is always working for your best. And trust that everything will always work out. Never been really lost. You've always been waiting to be found. Close your eyes and go to the inside. Close your eyes and go. That's where you find. That's where you find what you were looking for, searching for, seeking all this time. It's the love light in there. It's the love light in there. It's a love light in there. And it shines on and on and on and on and on. Yeah, surrendering, listening to that soft wind of change, and listening and being observant, having a little bit of discernment. Yeah. So powerful when we really think about it, and that we really no longer need to. It's almost like in a way we're running away from what we actually really want, and we keep distracting ourselves on the outside. And then, but when we take that moment and to sit with something, like for example, and to make it more, sometimes these concepts, it's like, oh my God, beautiful words, right, like shells, and it's like, what does this all mean? Like for example, I had the honor and privilege to take a 7-week class with Lynn Twist and Sarah Vetter with the Institute, the Soul of Money Institute. And it was so powerful. We met once a week, Wednesdays, it was a Zoom class, and then we had like a Facebook community, and we would like, share experiences. And last Wednesday was the last class. And I could see how I got so sad. I got really sad. And then I could see how I wanted to distract myself, withdraw, and immediately like take action in the sense of, what can I do? Can I create another group? Can I recruit some of the people? Not recruiting, that's the wrong word, but can I gather some of the people from that group, and can we keep going? How can we keep this going? Like, I don't want to. And then I decided to actually sit with that sadness, and to really just sit with that and let it fill me up from the inside. And I cried a little bit, and I journaled about it, and why I'm so sad that it's done and what it has given to me. And then when I did that after, what stayed with me is just this deep sense of gratitude that I met these beautiful people, that I had the opportunity to be in a Zoom room with these two magical women who are so profound and are making such a big difference in the world. Not to speak of the hundreds of people that were there from all over the world, who are part of the Pachamama Alliance, who are creating businesses that are changing the world, who are giving their voice to our planet Earth, who are supporting people on the journey to remember the soul essence of who we are. And I was like, you know what? Wow. That is something to be grateful for. And I don't have to hold on to it. I can just move on and dance on and trust that the next thing will come. And it did. something else actually occurred. It's a different form of contemplation that I now do for the next 4 months, every Wednesday morning, at the same time that the other class used to be. It was just something that occurred out of the blue, where I was like, I'm trusting. I'm moving along with that. I surrender to that what is given to me, and not try to now, how can I hold on to this? How can I make this? It's like, oh, something new shows up, and I'm going to go with it. Like a butterfly, right? A butterfly is not holding on to the one flower. You know, a butterfly is like the wind of change kicks in, flip, 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 oops, landing on another flower. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. Oh, I'm so babbly this morning. I'm like, blah, 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 blah. Hello, hello, hello. Amen, sister. I love it. Spill the knowledge. I don't know. I can't even help it. You know what? So the way this works is always, my beautiful husband who works behind the scenes a lot is always like, okay, Lucy, what are you going to talk about today? And I'm always like, surrender. And then I go on, and then I have a few ideas. Like today, I knew I wanted to quote the beautiful quote of my friend and sister, Marsha Zina Major. But besides that, I had no idea what's going to come through. And then sometimes it's as if a floodgate opens and it just kind of like shoots out, you know. I never know where it goes, but that's why I love these Monday mornings with all of you so much. A big shout out at this point to Nicholas Siegel and the Radio K Foundation, because he's really one of the initiators of this. In a time where I was not so consistent, he was always the one every Monday. He was like, Lucy, I'm here behind the scenes. Where are you? What's going on? Right? And thank you, Nicholas. It's a beautiful foundation that helps, you know, artists to get out there. You know, frequently we play actually for good causes, you know, all over the interwebs right now. We do virtual concerts for good causes. We're raising funds, and it's a beautiful community of people. So thank you, Nicholas Siegel, for being here. Another shout out to 𝐦𝐨𝐵𝐿𝐿. I hope I say your name correctly. Irene is actually the winner of the drawing from last Friday, where on Friday I always go live on my private page. And there I do a drawing for a winner of either a t-shirt or a tote bag or a Yes I Can pocket journal. And this time it was the Yes I Can fridge magnet. So much fun. A guitar pick and a little private card that I'm writing, and another little surprise that's in the package. So Irene, I'm going to send this off to you. I can't wait for you to walk to your fridge every day and make it happen. The only thing I would suggest is not like, yes, I can eat 4 bars of chocolate every day. Yes, I can eat the apple pie. You know what I mean? I mean, you know, on the fridge, it's always tricky. But you can also say, yes, I can eat healthy and whole foods on a daily basis. Yes, I can think amazing thoughts about myself and love myself a little bit more. Whatever you want to add to it, you can. You can do whatever you want. But there we come again into the surrender element, because yes, you can do whatever you want. And at the same time, though, I really believe that there is a higher thing going on. So even if I think I can do whatever I want, if I push that agenda and that wanting onto something, I deplete and I burn out, even of something that I love doing. And I have made this experience so many times where I thought, like, I'm going to make this happen. Yes, you know, this is what I'm supposed to do. And started my pushing again. And even if it was something that I really loved, I burned out on it. And so at the moment I'm making I'm setting a new standard for myself that I always check in. Is this in alignment right now? Do you need to do less? Do you have to say no more to others and say yes more to yourself? Like, what do you need to really completely relax and be at ease? Because only from there can we really receive, right? What does it take for us to completely relax and be at ease in order to really receive? And The deep relaxation, that's my topic right now. Because there's moments when I feel like somebody plugged me into an outlet, you know? And then I feel like all wired up. And so this is the time to unplug. So what I do a lot, I sit a lot outside in my garden. Last night I went to the ocean, I just laid on the beach, and then I went into the water. I'm just imagining how nature is just really receiving that electricity that I seem to carry at the moment. A little bit of an overflow of that. Yeah. So much love for all of you. Thank you for being here with me on Mondays. I so appreciate everyone. And if you are not in Lucie's Lighthouse yet, because I don't see who is watching from where, if you're not in Lucie's Lighthouse yet, come on over. It's my Facebook group community that keeps growing and flowing, which is a lot of fun. And yeah, I always keep you posted about the new ideas and new shenanigans that we are planning out. One of the things that we are daydreaming about, heartstorming, is actually an idea to do a Lucie Lynch retreat in Hawaii, where a small group of people can come and hang out with me for a week, and then we do yoga and we eat well and we have like private concerts and sound healings and yeah, like a wellness a wellness treat, so to speak, a wellness retreat for you. So if that's something you're excited about, send me a message, because then I would love to interview you and ask you a couple questions about that and get your feedback, because it's always great to get feedback from those who might be interested in doing something fun like that. Also, you still have the opportunity to receive Baboom, the 4-week free guided meditation series, Lucie and the 4 Elements. It's a beautiful way to connect with your essence, and it's 4 sound healing guided meditations. Every week I'm going to send you a different one, and you can do that like a couple times a day or a couple times that week and see how your life hopefully transforms. Yeah. So that is really wonderful. I see already Mary's like, yes to the retreat. Exactly. And Mary, we got to make this happen to chat, right? We got to make it happen to chat. Yeah. So take advantage of this, you know, because it's really healing medicine for all of us, so that we remember to slow down. We remember to slow down, because in the world that we see in these days, where everything is faster, 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 higher, higher, quicker, quicker, it's a gift to slow down. But it's not only a gift, it is actually an act of rebellion. It is an act of rebellion. And when you slow down, what is interesting, time expands. The slower we do, your time expands. You try it out for a day. Do a little less one day, and you will see like, whoa, I have so much more time. There's so much more time available, right? I see that with myself. When in the old days, it was like pre-COVID, post-COVID, but I used to always, I had like 3, sometimes 4 events a day. I don't know how I did it. It was like in the morning a sound healing meditation, then 2 or 3 private clients, and then in the evening I would play music with my band, and the time would go by like that. And at some point I would usually be completely exhausted, catch some sort of cold, or even worse, the year before it was a goodness gracious, I don't even look. It's good. I already let that go, but it was a very painful thing. I had like this rash, and then it was all really painful. There is a name for this. But so I had that going on, and that was really the wake-up call for me to be like, you know what? Maybe I don't always have to exhaust myself to the point where I need to take off. Maybe I don't have to always exhaust myself until I have to get sick. Maybe I can actually take that pause in between, take it slower overall, to expand time, and therefore to expand also my well-being. Yeah, the well of my well-being is flea, fla, flowing. Flibbity, flea, fla, flowing. And yeah, And it's funny, I always resonated with less is more. And I remember there was a while where that was not so popular. It was always like, with less is more. That's not the truth, because people want you to just not step into your full potential. And I'm like, well, you know what? I actually think less is actually can be more, because I'm enjoying it more. Because we live in a world of excess. We have access to everything, but we have also an excess of everything, right? There's so much, too much of everything. It's just not distributed in equal ways. So we have like, here people have like 5 iPhones, old phones, new phones, middle-aged phones, 3 iPads, 3 computers. Somewhere else somebody has none, right? We have like 10 pair of shoes. Somebody else, people are walking barefoot, right? We have supermarkets, which is super excess, and I always talk about this, you know, of food. We throw freaking food away while people are starving and dying in the other, somewhere nearby, who have no food, right? And I feel it's time that we really just look at these things, but not from a like gloom and doom way. It's not about always like freaking out about it and, oh my God, well, and people are, it's horrible. No, to look at it and be like, oh my God, let's just at least start to uncover it and then see where is new angles of solutions available. I remember back in Germany, there is actually a cafe, and they figured out, they collaborated now with a couple of supermarkets around in their area, and it's a vegan cafe, and they're using the just expired products from the supermarket that usually would be thrown away but are still absolutely good. And they created a restaurant which is on a pay what you want basis. And I was like, oh my God. I mean, it almost makes me emotional thinking about that. And then, you know, the mind is like, but how is that possible? And how are they making a profit? And how about that? It's possible. It works. It is still a thing right now, you know? And I thought that was just so, so, so beautiful. So in that world of having so much, how can we have less and give ourselves more room to breathe, right? I started, for example, I realized I have all these tarot decks. I have like angel cards and angels of abundance and the daily angel this and that. And I was like, you know what? I really only use 2 of those decks when I once in a while feel inspired to pull a card, you know, on a new moon or a full moon or in between, you know. And so I now actually started sorting them out. And my next idea is now to, you know, give them away. Give them away to people. Where I think, oh, good, look, she doesn't have a tarot deck yet. Maybe she can't afford it. So how about me giving one of mine away, right? The same idea of our goodwills and our Salvation Armies. And just a big fan of the idea of sharing the excess that we have to make it accessible. If that all makes sense, here we are babbling again. Today is my babble day. So, to slow us all down and bring us into the heart space, here we go. Take a breath. Let it be alright. Take a breath. Let it be enough right now. Let this moment be what it is. Let this moment be a doorway to your bliss. Seeking love, 'cause it's seeking you. Seeking light, 'cause light is you. Finding ways to let your heart beat. Finding ways to let your heart beat. And know that love is the only way. Love is the only way. Love is the only way. And love is the only way. Love is open wide and realize that this moment has always been enough. And know that love is the only way. Love is the only way. Love is the only way. I know. Love is the only way, my beautiful friends. I wish you a beautiful, happy, peaceful, surrendered week this week. And I hope you can take some of the inspirations today that I shared with you. You know, let your heart be filled by the power of your surrender. You know. And a big shout out again to Nicholas Siegel, the Radio K Foundation. Biggest shout out to Irene Bencomo, who won, drum roll, the beautiful welcome bundle. And I'm going to send that out to you shortly. And if you want to support me, as usual, I always have to say it, there's Venmo, there's PayPal, there is my Bandcamp, my Bandcamp page, Lucie Lynch, where you can have access, here we are again, where I have an overflow of t-shirts and tote bags and things to support me with. If you feel like, oh my God, I have like a trust fund right here, I would love to invest a little bit in this lady and her music, absolutely possible. Let's make it happen, right? And willing to receive from all ways in all days. So much love, so much love, so much love. Let's take things less serious. Yeah, everything is sacred, but not everything has to be serious, how Richard Rudd, from the creator of the Gene Keys, always says. So stay in your heart, stay lit up, and I love you so much. And I see you latest next Monday or Friday on my personal page. Anything else? No? Okay. Aloha. Bye-bye.